And good evening. We're beginning with the effects of the pandemic. As hospitals struggle with staffing shortages, traveling nurses are critical in helping fight the virus. A Midlands man is opening up his home to nurses battling COVID on the front lines. Here's Eleanor Tabone.
I provide a place for them to stay.
Travelling nurses are filling the gap as hospitals deal with staffing shortages.
Travel nurses are necessary because the hospitals are very filled.
But the problem they're running into is finding affordable housing.
A lot of people don't want to rent to nurses at this time because they're not sure if we have COVID.
I had this finished room over the garage that hardly ever was used. And so I was thinking about doing an Airbnb.
That's where George Park's spare room comes in.
Somebody said, "Did you ever think about traveling nurses?"
He said once COVID hit, he didn't want people coming and going. He wanted long-term stays.
Within 48 hours, I had a young man from Idaho asking me if he could stay here.
He says his property is listed on Furnished Finders. Guests get their own bedroom and living space, bathroom, access to the kitchen, Wi-Fi, and can use the deck and pool.
It can take time because there's lots of nurses looking for housing.
Sherry Pittman, a registered nurse from North Carolina, is his current tenant.
He is so personable. He is very friendly. He had like a whole welcome to Columbia brochure for me.
She says the pandemic made it very difficult to find housing.
It took me about a month to find George.
As for George,
I hear people who are doing us a real service, and they need a safe, comfortable place to stay.
He says he just wants to help those who have dedicated their lives to helping others.
It makes me feel good that I'm able to provide something that they need.
So he's a good person to rent from.
In Columbia, Eleanor Tabone, News 19 WLTX.
Well, George says that he has hosted now 3 nurses this year since renting out his room. He says if people have the space and can offer a quiet, safe environment, then they should consider doing so.